communities. As defenders of the Constitution and a defense of the freedom and rights of all people everywhere, we cannot let this happen to future whistleblowers. Any domestic surveillance legislation must include whistleblower protections for the credibility and enforcement of any reform effort. Otherwise, secrecy enforced by repression will turn a faux reform passed into simply an honor system for NSA dependent on the agency's confessions of violating new rights. I don't think so.
Yeah!
Due to the material evidence disclosed by Edward Snowden, we now know in great detail, and I will add with much more to come, that the NSA does not have an honorable track record of telling the truth, while keeping track of us without our consent, hiding behind secret laws, secret opinions, and secret interpretations in the shadowlands of surveillance. I agree, unacceptable, and we only know of government spying, illegality, wrongdoings, and violations due to the disclosures of whistleblowers. The public's eyes and ears, exposing abuse of government power in the public interest. But without adequate protections, employees are more likely to turn a blind eye to the privacy violations of innocent Americans and risk professional and career suicide. It is the constant possibility of observation without our consent, as a governed by those in power, that stultifies society, renders creativity mute, engenders fear, and erodes our freedom with the acid served up by the potent brew of secrecy combined with surveillance for the sake of security, while forsaking our liberties as a price we must pay to make us feel safe. I don't think so.
Yeah!
I was fortunate that I did not end up in actual prison, having lived the virtual version for a number of years, for coming out of the system and speaking truth to and of power. Clearly a dangerous act of civil disobedience and individuality for sure in these times, and now defined as a criminal act by the national security state, aided and abetted by journalists and reporters, expressing one's fundamental and inalienable right to individual sovereignty in the face of a government bent on destroying it. The last thing a free and open society needs is a digital fence around us, creating a virtual turnkey tyranny, with the barbed wire of surveillance not only keeping track of our comings and goings, but now increasingly wanting to know what we think and feel, the very essence of who we are and share as human beings. I fundamentally reject this dystopian premise.
So do we!
And the siren call of security. If we just give up our essential liberties, given what happened to me and other whistleblowers like Edward Snowden. And so, it is time to roll back the surveillance state. It is time to restore the Fourth Amendment. It is time to repeal the Patriot Act. It is time to repeal the FISA Amendments Act. It is time that the United States government stops watching us. It is high time for us as the people to save the government from itself in order to form a more perfect union here and everywhere. We need to let freedom ring anew throughout the land, because nothing less than our own future is at stake. Never, never forsaking life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Hear, hear!
It is now my extraordinary honor and privilege to invite up to the stage Jesselyn Radack, the National Security and Human Rights Director for the Government Accountability Project. I think she might just have a few words to share.